Welcome to Iron Helm. I am so excited to get a chance to play this game. It's been a very long time since I've played. I started out playing the print and play version of just the base game and fell in love with it quite some time ago. Since then, I've gone ahead and purchased everything except for the mats. So the mats you have in front of you here that you're seeing, these are not real. Jason Glover, the designer and artist, amazing work by the way, has provided the artwork for the mats on his website, which is greygnome.com. So you can just download those and print those out. This one I printed a little bit smaller than it's supposed to be. You can see the size of the card versus, like, say, where it's supposed to sit, just so that it fit onto one piece of paper for me. And I just have a little bit of card overlap. It doesn't end up bothering me at all. So this is usually a little bit larger, but you can buy nice neoprene mats of this and everything. This is not a retail game. This is not a Kickstarter game. This is print and play or the Game Crafter. Those are the two ways to get it. A quick look here at the Board Game Geek website shows that it's, very highly rated. Weight 2.0. It's not that hard of a game. It's really not, but it is so much fun. It is fantastic. It is always brought up in the conversation of solo games, because it's solo only, solo dungeon delves, stuff like that. This game is always mentioned. The website, you can check out the designer. This is Jason Glover's website here, greygnome.com. So funny. I follow him on Twitter and YouTube. He has these great, it says Indie Designer Journal, but you can't see it because of all the YouTube text and everything. And you get used to hearing his voice and seeing his face. And when I'm playing this, because I'm by myself, you hear him going, like he's standing over you, just shaking his head. You think that's the right move? Was that a wise choice? Nope. It's so funny. Like, I know I'm doing this right, and you think you're doing so well in this game, and the next thing you know, your plans are foiled. It's fantastic. So anyway, you can get this game for very inexpensive over here at pnparcade.com. For $5, you can buy the base game, print it out yourself. All the expansion packs are down here as well. I would suggest, just off the top of my head, I'm going to tell you the Loot and Lore pack is fantastic, as is the Fanny pack. Both of those, you can just mix in with the base game. It just adds more gear, more characters, whatever. It's fantastic. So just there's no reason not to have more. That puts you out $10 for the print and play, and you are going to get a lot of plays out of this. The rest of these are adventure packs, which are really cool, because then you can play the base game as adventure number 1. Then you choose one of those as adventure number 2, and then you choose another one as adventure number 3. Now some are, there's like a group, like these 4 are level 2s, these 4 are level 3s, something like that. Not going to get into that just now. We're just going to talk about the base game here. I don't know why there's not fancy artwork for these last 3. And then there's the Iron Chest, which is a very large expansion. I think that has adventure pack like 7 and 8 and something else in it too. There's a lot of stuff in the Iron Chest pack, right? So head on over to the Game Crafter. You can see even more. There is, and I kind of skipped over the Howling Abyss. This is an alternate dungeon deck. So that is actually kind of its own special little thing as well. Over here on the Game Crafter, you can buy the printed professional, all done, boom. There it is, base game for $54.99 US. I don't know what it's like being in a different country, but in the US, the shipping is not horrible, but it kind of encourages you to just order everything at once, and then it gets a little pricey. But I am told the overseas, or at least out of the country, shipping is quite expensive, and I don't know. But you can get everything here professionally made, and it is absolutely just it's so worth it. The game is fantastic. You can get all the adventure packs, the Loot and Lore Enhanced pack, the Fanny pack is in here somewhere down there. You can even get real player mats, which I do not have. Where is it? And the Iron Chest. I want to take just a quick look at this so you can see a little bit better. Boy, their website is always a little slow for me. The Iron Chest is a whole separate box, and it has a lot of stuff in it. Look at this. There are, whole other adventure cards, the Lonely Troll Inn pack. There is the adventure pack number 7, and Realms and Relics. So there is all kinds of stuff. I wonder if you can just throw that one in there as well. Let's see, meant to complement the base adventure. Awesome. And if you take a look in the top right-hand corner and the top left-hand corner, you just can't see it here. In every card, there's an icon that tells you what pack something comes from if you want to just remove them from your set. So I managed to buy everything, and then we were like in the middle of a move at the time, and so I never ended up playing everything because it arrived and I didn't have even my table set up. I was not, all my board game stuff was packed up for like the world's worst move in history, so I didn't get to play. And so now I get to play. So I'm going to play just the base game to start with, and then I'm going to add in the Loot and Lore and the Fanny pack, and then I'm going to add in the stuff from the Iron Chest as I go. We'll probably do 2 plays with just the base game so you can see how it is for your $5. If you do the print and play, absolutely worth it. You're going to need to supply yourself with 3d6 and then 2d12s or whatever. Use a spin down d20, something to count enemy hit points. You can use cubes for all of these except for these, because these blessing tokens are different on the back, and you want to protect these. You don't want these to be marked up. You don't want to know what they are until the very end of the game when you flip them over. You have just hit point counters, could be red cubes, energy could be purple cubes, rations, brown cubes, poison, green cubes, and gold pieces, gold cubes or yellow cubes. That works just fine. And you have a whole smattering of cards to deal with here. So before we're done, though, I want to talk about, well, let's just get into the rules, because the game is dead simple. I want to kind of somewhat jokingly show you how simple it really is, right? The turn sequence. Ignore the right-hand side. That's just how you trigger endgame. The left-hand side is really the turn sequence of the game. Draw 2 cards from the dungeon deck. That's this green pile of cards down here, or the blue one if you have the Howling Abyss, keeping them face down. You reveal one of the cards, right? You get to make a choice. Do I want this card or not? And then if you choose no, you reveal the other card and have to pick the second set of it, right? So essentially a turn is really this simple. I don't want to get into a skirmish, so maybe we're going to roll the dice, we're going to see what the second one is, and we have to take it, and we have to take the second part of it if it's a 2. Oh, we got lost in the labyrinth instead of getting into the fight, right? So now we have to read this second half of this card because it wasn't our first drawn card, right? So it might have worked out better to just do the fight, do the battle. So that's how it works. There are 16 of these cards, right? There are 8 turns per thing. And I actually think there's 2 more cards, meaning it's an extra whole turn if you have the Howling Abyss. Now, how do you do this? Well, the first thing you're going to do is pick a character. Your character is one of these 4 guys. This is, again, just the base game, right? The expansions are going to add a ton of characters. You pick a character. They have a hit point maximum there. The next thing down is energy maximum. The next thing down, the hexagon there, is their encumbrance, how much gear they can carry. The brown square is their rations. They start with 1 ration, and then it looks like 3, 2, and 3 gold. And let's just take our boy Fayon here, number 1. He is character number 1. He starts with a buckler and robe, so that's his trappings. You have a whole deck of trappings. The trappings are like your starting gear, right? So we find the buckler and the robe. So you have this guy who starts with this item that is worth 2 gold if you're to buy it from a merchant. If it's somehow wound up in here, I don't think you can. 1 gold, 1 weight, right? So keep in mind that you have a weight limit, and it tells you it's a body item, right? So that's where it goes over here on your character sheet, right? So you'll just put that right on the body. Then you start with a buckler for this character anyway. OH is offhand. It weighs 1. And then it tells you that everything has like a little bit of a special, right? This is subtract 1 from initial damage, not counter strikes. We'll get to combat in a bit. Very simple. So you start with this and 3 gold. You don't have a weapon, so all you can do is punch at the cost of no energy and only doing 1 damage at a time. That's worthless. So you're going to want to look through here. Maybe you want to buy a bow to start with your 3 gold, right? You can buy a bow. What if you wanted to buy a dagger? You're going to be real sneaky like, and you want to take a skill that's going to benefit from having a dagger later on. So you get yourself set up with a weapon, you head on in, and you start flipping cards. That's it. Like, that's the setup, right? Very, very simple. So what do? You have, let's talk about the skills, I guess. You have different skills. So there are 4 mind skills. Our guy Fayon here was an agility character. You can see on the very bottom, agility, mind, agility, brawn. These are the 4 in the base game. And it says Fayon starts with the skill dodge. So let's find, here's the agility one. So the rest of them are brawn. I've got these all messed up is what I've got. So here are bronze skills. Things like shield block, berserk, dual wield, and parry are like strength essentially, right? Bronze skills. We have agility skills. We have things like conceal, right? That you can use to maybe get out of combat if you don't want to fight. Archery, it lets you, do better when you're shooting bows. You re-roll low rolls of damage. You have shadow, where if you have a dagger, you get to do extra damage. And then you start, at least with this character, starts with dodge, which is gain 1 less poison damage from the arrow trap. The arrow trap is a card in here that you may run into. Okay, so you start with that. You have a little skill up here to start, and off you go. You start peeling off cards and doing exactly what the cards say. Now, at some point, you're going to have to do more than fight, right? So, also, you keep it face down. So let's say we chose the labyrinth that says lose a ration. We lose a ration. You don't know what else you lost, right? That's part of the genius of it. You don't have a checklist of what's out of these cards. You flip these over, you pick a card. Oh, it's a merchant. So we can buy and sell from the merchant, right? It tells you if you're on level 1 of the dungeon, take 1 loot and 1 potion and choose to purchase them. Well, we've got an Iron Helm we can buy for 4 gold, or we could buy a Spark Bomb potion for 1 gold, right? So those are options. Anything you don't buy gets discarded, not shuffled back in. So, sometimes you don't want the merchant. Maybe I don't. Maybe hey, it's too early. I don't want to burn through the deck. So let's not do the merchant. Let's take the second card. Oh, hey, look, we went down a different road and we found the campsite where we can, heal up or find some rations or remove some poison or what have you. And the gameplay commences as such. At some point, you are forced to fight. There are 2 different fighting cards here. One of them is skirmish, just like you and the enemy, and enemies are always going to fight first in 3 out of 4 scenarios. That's not true. I guess the bosses are going to always fight as well. So there's in all but 1 out of 5 scenarios, they're going to fight first. They're going to strike first. There is the ambush, and if you pick ambush as your first card, you catch your foe by surprise. And it says draw an enemy card and ignore their initial damage. So let's just draw an enemy. Here's a wolf. So the wolf says it has 3 hit points plus whatever the card says. Now these cards, both skirmish and ambush, will instruct you to add hit points and sometimes damage to the creature. They have their base damage is whatever's in blue. So this wolf has a base damage of 2, potentially plus some based on what cards you have here, what section you're reading. Then the loot is in the green section that you can't see on the green screen. Loot here is a 1. There's 0, 1, and 2. And then there is what they are weak to. That is weak to fire. There's fire, ice, and whether or not they are undead. So, okay, great. Let's say the wolf gets to attack me first because I didn't get an ambush. So how do enemies attack? Let's just go with the numbers here. Let's say it has 3 hit points and its damage is only 2 on its initial damage. You roll 2d6. 6 minus 4 is 2, plus 2 is it did 4 damage to me, okay? There we go. Or we could avoid it if we feed it, right? That's on there too, but I'm just saying this is how combat works, right? So enemies always roll 2d6. Then they subtract the lower number from the bigger number, and then they add initial damage, and they add potentially what a card might say if that's the case, okay? So what happens when they roll doubles? Guess what? They missed you if they roll doubles. That's fantastic. Now, your combat's a little different. You have 2 options. 1, just punch it, right? Okay. For free, it just does 1 damage. That's no good because this thing has somewhere between 4 and like 10 or 12 hit points, depending on what's going on, right? So that's not going to do it. So how do you do more damage? Well, first of all, you have to have a weapon, or you're only doing 1 damage punches for free. So you happen to have a weapon. You spend energy tokens to roll dice. You can roll somewhere between 0 and 3 dice on your turn. 2d6, of course, right? So let's say I have a sword, and I roll the sword. I spend 2 energy tokens. I just add my damage together, right? So it looks like I did 6 damage. Well, hold on now. My sword says plus 3 damage to creatures weak to fire. I have a sword called Cinderblade, let's say, right? I know that's in here somewhere. And so all of a sudden now, I didn't do 6 damage. I did 9 damage because I had this thing right here, right? Boom. I smoked the wolf, and the reward is a 1. Okay, now there's a chart here somewhere. So over on the right, treasure types, right? So there's 0 and 1. So 0 is nothing. 1 is, and I underlined this stuff to try to get to the point. So 1 is 1 random card from the top of the loot deck, or take 1 gold piece from the supply. And then 2 would be, if they have a 2 in that spot, it says draw both from the loot deck and the potion deck. Now, sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, right? In this case, great. This is a wonderful sword. Maybe I can't carry it because it weighs too much, right? This weighs 2, and maybe I have a whole mess of other gear. So I drop a gear. Or if I have another weapon I like, but I don't want to get rid of it, I can put it in my backpack and equip Cinderblade here, and I can use my Cinder Bomb. This is a Molotov cocktail thing, right? And I can just keep that in my backpack, and on my combat turn, instead of punching for free or using energy for a sword, I discard that and do 2d6 damage, or 2d6 plus 5 if it's like a wolf when it's weak to fire. Okay, so that's the simplicity of the combat. I love it. It's awesome, right? So that is a initial damage, then your fight, and then everything beyond the initial damage and is a counter strike by the enemy. So initial damage. Remember, we had a buckler somewhere here that prevented one of only their first strike. If I don't kill it on my hit, it gets a counter strike, not another initial damage. So my buckler is only good from that first hit, okay? And that's kind of the gist of 90% of the game. Once you get to a point where you've killed multiple enemies, you can use those to level up. Once you have 3 dead enemies, you're going to have a little graveyard here. You can flip them face down and take a look at the skills and say, boy, I really like the shadow skill because I happen to have a dagger, right? So I'm going to take, wherever it went in here, I lost it now. I'm messing these all up. You don't shuffle these, but I have somehow screwed these up. You know, maybe, yeah, here, maybe I want shadow. So I can flip 3 cards face down, and I can now add the shadow skill. You can have as many skills as you can afford, okay? There's no limit, but it does cost me 3 dead guys. I flip them face down, but I keep them over here. To take an agility skill because we are an agility character. Now, what if I really want a mind or a bronze skill? I then have to spend 5 cards to take something out of my my wheelhouse, right? Because that's Fayon's an agility character. I spend 5 to take a mind skill. So that's how you get yourself extra skills. And let's see here. Now, at some point, every time you reach the bottom of a floor, which is by going through all the cards, you have to draw a plot card. These plot cards have little storylines on them, little things that happen, little things you can do, little bits of a fun little story. However, and I'm not going to try to spoil too many of them here, but let's just take a look at the bottom of every single card. They have these little eyeballs on them, right? Some have 2 eyeballs. Some have 1 eyeball. They will have some number of eyeballs, right? Those eyeballs are you catching the attention of the boss, right? You've been in here slaughtering mercilessly, and the boss is angry. Once you have your 10th eyeball, so you finish resolving the card, now you have 10 or more eyeballs, you fight the boss. And the way you don't draw randomly, the boss is determined by what you've slaughtered the most of. So if you've killed the most undead, right? They have a little undead symbol on them. You find the boss with the matching symbol, and now you're fighting a lich. If we killed a whole mess of wolves, a bunch of guys with fire icons and trolls and things that are weak to fire, you're fighting the Naga. Or for ice, you're fighting the lurker, right? So your boss is predetermined. They don't get any bonuses to their hit points or damage or any of that. They're just what's on the card. They are set. But everything else you're fighting goes up as you go up in the dungeon. Or and then this is the morality track. Sometimes you have to make choices that mean, hey, I'm a pretty good person. I go up on the track. Or you know what? I've done some pretty nasty things in this dungeon. I go down. And that has other things that happen. And and I failed to mention the blessing token. So as you're going up and down the morality track, you might run across cards that say, hey, take a blessing token because you've done something really good here. Or, hey, if you're really high on the morality track, take 1 for every 2 that you're up, or whatever the case may be. And you don't get to look at these. You just store those right here, right? So at the end of the game, just before the boss comes out, you get to flip these over for a bonus, a little boon before you fight the end boss. So in this case, we would get 3 extra hit points, not above my maximum. Fayon's maximum was 14, okay, and 1 extra energy. And energy is the name of the game here because you can't just throw 3d6 on every little wolf you want to fight because you'll run out of energy, and then the next wolf you're up against, or the troll, or the mimic, or what have you, you're going to have 0 energy, which means you're down to just punching it or throwing any potions you have, right? So that's not a good thing to do. So in the loot deck, there is a mimic. I've skipped over some of the more basic rules, like that you have to fight the mimic if you pull to build you have to build, if you pick the merchant, you have to build the shop. If you draw the mimic when you build the shop, you have to fight the mimic, and then you can proceed to shop. You have to spend a ration when you're going down a floor here before your plot card. If you can't do it, you have to spend 3 health. You lose 3 health, rather, if you can't spend a ration. Things like that. There's little things like that. But for the most part, that's how the game plays. There's really not much else to it. It's pretty straightforward, but you'll run into some cards that have weird wording, like it'll say, hey, draw a treasure card. What it really meant was loot. It's just, it wasn't put correctly on the card. So there's a handful of little typos and little keywords and things like that scattered throughout that just, what does this thing mean? Just, there's like I said before, there's an FAQ and there's a community handbook that clears it all up. So I'm excited to get to playing this now. This is going to be just the base game. I think maybe we'll play this 2-3 times. See how we do. We're going to lose. The game is brutal. I'm not good at it, but it's a ton of fun. Let's get these all mixed up and jump into it. All right, here we go. We are going to start with character number 1 here. This is Fayon. So let's go ahead and get Fayon all set up. The first thing we have to do is find ourselves 14 tokens. Now, for life. So the thing about life is it cannot go above that number, right? So let me get a couple of more here. That's interesting. So if I have 14, there's 4 other tokens here. So we know that throughout the entire game, nobody has more than 18 hit points maximum. We're going to have 11. I like that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tokens for energy. That's a good starting amount of energy. Now, we just have to do well to remember that our weight limit is 10. We have 1 ration. That's a bummer. And then it looks like 3 gold pieces. So let's take a look at... oh, we're not done yet. Hold on. We got to take our trappings, our freebies, right? Buckler and robes. Let me find the... oh, they're on the top. I must have done this recently. So we're going to put the robes here and the buckler here. And remember, my sheet is a little smaller than it's supposed to be, so things are going to have just a little bit of an overlap. And then my skills, was that dodge? What do we have here? We do have the dodge skill. So dodge says gain 1 less potion damage from the arrow trap. Fabulous. Okay, so that's good because the arrow trap is in here, remember? And I think if you draw it first, it's just 1 damage, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, we do have 3 gold pieces, so let's take a look and see what we can afford here. We don't have a starting weapon. Oh my goodness. So we could take a mace, right? That's 3 gold. When fighting an undead enemy, you may re-roll 1s and 2s. We could take an axe, which is pretty cool because you can throw an axe if you have to, although you lose it permanently there. But it does 3d6, but then what do you do, right? We could buy some more rations. You know, I'm kind of into that. There's things that you can't afford in this deck as well. Like you cannot buy the Iron Helm. It's 4 gold, and no character starts with more than 3 gold. Oh, that might be the only one. Nope, there's the nice shield is 4 gold as well. So you can't buy that. And this tells you how much it weighs, right? How much it costs, how much it weighs, and where it goes. This is an offhand thing, right? Alright, and so what do we have? We have a dagger. You must re-roll die results of a 6. There's no exploding dice in this game, by the way, so that's not a concern. Here's a head item. Gain an additional 2 health when you drink a health potion. That's nice. Leather armor. Well, we're going to need a weapon, so I kind of feel like... oh, look at that. A door wedge. Man, there's some good stuff here. So what is our best bet? What do we take here? Since we don't get to start with a weapon, on our picture we have a buckler and what looks like a janky little sword here, and that's not, maybe it's a dagger. I don't really want to start with a dagger, although this is an agility guy. I kind of want to start with an axe and a rations, because I'm always out of rations. But you know what? Let's go on an undead hunt. Let's do this. Let's spend all 3 gold that we have on a mace to start, okay? So we're broke, but at least we have a weapon. Otherwise, we aren't doing very much damage at all, okay? And again, that's good when we're fighting undead because it says we get to re-roll die results of 1 and 2. So what happens here? So we're going to pull 2 cards out, and I wonder if you can see this very well up here. Probably not, so I'm going to have to do a whole lot of this today. You have spied, so yeah, okay, so I have a, is that better? Oh, maybe I have to put these, that glare is gnarly today. There we go. I tried to keep it out of our view here. There we go. You have, what does that say? Oh, spied. So it's blurrier for me than it is for you, probably. Spied a relatively quiet location to set up camp. It will not be long before you attract attention to yourself. Choose one of the following actions. Spend 1 ration to gain 3 energy. Wow, there's only 1 energy token here. Or search, gain 1 ration, or rest, spend 1 ration to gain 2 health and lose 1 poison. So I think in this case we're going to go ahead and gain a ration, right? You all know how much you've ever watched me play Mini Rogue, you know I like my food. Now we don't get to see this card, so whatever this is going to stay face down. And now we make another choice. Now it doesn't have to be this one I flip up, it could be this one, it doesn't matter, but this is just the way I'm going to do it. Ooh, the Mushroom Grove. You've located a grove of young mushrooms. Okay, I'm absolutely going to take 1 ration. Right, so look at that. We have 3 now. I'm already happy with this run. All right, so we're going to do 2 more cards. Again, ambush. You catch your foe by surprise and gain the upper hand, right? You can't beat that, right? There's no sense in me flipping this card over here, right? Draw an enemy card. So we have a stack of enemies here. I haven't shuffled them up yet on camera, even though I have. I just want to make sure. Add the dungeon level to their health. So we are on level 1. That's up here with this ginormous bomb. Draw an enemy card and ignore their initial damage. So, you know, remember, they strike first usually. So this guy, we got the upper hand on whatever this may be here. So we are going to draw 1 enemy. We have a Skinkling. Okay, so whatever this guy is. So this is what we're up against. Now, this card did say, draw an enemy and ignore their initial damage, add the dungeon level to their health. So this guy has 1+1. He has a big 2 hit points. And you know what? I'm going to move this stuff off the screen so that we don't get confused on what I do have available. So how's that? So there we go. So we have a 2. Oh, that doesn't look right for you, though. It looks like it's on a 4. If I move it to the middle, we have this gnarly glare. Trying to do this. That's a little better. There we go. That's all right. Well, he has 2 hit points. What if I put it here? Is that blurry? No, that's okay. Okay, there we go. I just don't want it to be too blurry. Maybe I can put it up here. There we go. Problem is I can't see it. So, okay. So we have 2 hit points for the Skinkling, and what are we going to do? Now, we can just eat the damage and just punch him in the face one time, and then he gets a hit on us, which is not always great, but energy is hard to come by in this, right? We only have, there's only 2. Did I mess that up? I guess I did. Oh, I did. How funny. There's more energy in here than I thought there was. I must have stacked, because they're all square, I must have stacked up energy with some rations. Okay, there we go. So there's 3 more energy out here that I could get. So, oh, that's interesting. It makes me want to cook those rations now. So, when the Skinkling successfully hits, gain 1 poison token. So I don't want to get poisoned either. So maybe it's a waste, but let's do it, right? So if we take one of our energy tokens and get rid of it, we get to roll a die to hit. This guy is weak to fire, not undead. So ideally here we roll a 2 or better, and we kill him in 1 hit. We rolled, oh wow, we rolled a 2. I would have been very upset at wasting an energy on this. So we killed this guy. Now you'll notice in the corner, he also gives us a single gold piece, and he has a number 1 green on him. So let's not forget to take our gold piece. There's that. And then a number 1 on the loot is treasure type value of 1, allows you to draw 1 random card from the top of the loot deck or take a gold. Now, this gets discarded, and let's take a look at the loot deck. Now, keep in mind, I know for a fact there's a mimic in here somewhere that just has my number, so it's not this guy. Oh, look, a ration! You may discard this card to gain 2 energy. Now, how much weight are we carrying? That's something I haven't looked at yet. We can have unlimited amounts of stuff in our backpack up to equal to our encumbrance rating. Okay, so if we have a million things that weigh 0, that's fine. But we have 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Okay, so there's that. Now we have, I didn't even look at how cool some of this stuff is, right? Here our robes allow us to avoid 1 skirmish per level. Maybe what I should do is get myself some little markers over here so I can mark things off that we've used them on this floor. The robes allow us to avoid 1 skirmish per level. That's going to come in very handy. Some of those skirmishes are nasty, right? We also have the buckler. Subtract 1 from initial damage. If you suffer a single hit of 4 or more damage, your buckler breaks. We don't want that to happen either, okay? But I'm stoked on that ration. That's amazing because energy management in this game is key. Okay, so we did it. I think we did everything we needed to do there. Yeah, let's move on. So, we don't get to know what that one is. Okay, so there's these 2, and we have here's a skirmish, right? Draw an enemy card and add the dungeon level +2 to their health. So we know no matter what we're fighting is basically a +3 health enemy, and we could use our robes to avoid the fight. I say why not? Let's just avoid it and move on, right? We just snuck by whatever that was. Next up, another skirmish. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Remember, there's a lot of them in here, right? There's 5, I believe. So, okay, so here it is. We have no choice. We are in a combat with oh my goodness, if you're trying to convince me that's not a gelatinous cube. Okay, so yikes. Draw your weapon and prepare for battle. Draw an enemy card and add the dungeon level +2. So that's +3, so they have 10 hit points, this guy. Oh goodness, oh no. So let's put that, I guess, up here. Maybe you can see it. So 10 hit points for the consuming mass. Obviously, this card is very green, but again, awesome, awesome artwork. I love it. You just can't see it very well here. So this guy has, oh man, this guy's brutal. Maybe if I put it here, then you can't read the numbers that well. But in any case, that's what we're up against. So it is going to attack me first, and let's not forget that it. Oh, you know what? I killed this guy. He didn't get discarded. We have a graveyard of dead dudes over here. My bad. Your hand weapon is lost if you roll the more than 2 ones during an attack. Holy smokes. Okay, so, and we're going to have to use at least 2 energy to kill this thing, and ideally roll 5-5 or 5-6 or 6-6, right? So, it's going to attack first. So remember, we roll 2d6, and its damage is, what did I say it was here? Draw an enemy card and add the dungeon level to their health. All right, so that's it. No extra bonus, which is good. So we have a 3. Can you see that there? It kind of rolled underneath it. A 2. So that's a 2, right? So 5 minus 3 is a 2. So 2 plus 3 is 5 damage, right? So now, unfortunately, that breaks our buckler, right? Because our buckler says subtract 1 from initial damage. So we just got hit for 4. If you suffer a single hit of 4 or more damage, the buckler breaks. So it goes back over here, and we still have to take the 4 damage. Now this guy is no joke, so I think we're gonna have to burn all 3. I think we just have to make sure this guy's gone. 3 energy to roll 3 dice, because we have to do 10 damage somehow. And that's gonna be hard with just 2 dice, I bet, right? So there is 8, 9, 10, 11. We barely did it, okay? So we managed to kill this thing with 11. It did not give us any money, but it does have a 2 on its loot. So remember, 2 on loot is going to show us, no, that's not it, combat is draw the top card from both the loot deck and the potion deck. So here we go. So the potion deck first is a Spark Bomb. You may discard this card to deal 2d6 damage. Now you do that in place of a melee strike. It does not cost any energy. We just basically huck it into the battle. And it does extra 5 damage to foes weak versus fire. That is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then I didn't draw the loot card, right? No, I don't think so. Okay. And then we drew a dagger. You must reroll die results of a 6 when a dagger is used as a primary weapon. So that's kind of a bummer, but you know, what have you. There it goes. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weight we are carrying, right? So we're going to keep the dagger in our bag. A, we can always sell it to a merchant if we run across them and we decide we don't want it. But B, it's generally a good idea to have a weapon, a backup weapon, okay? So that cost us a lot of our energy. That is not a good feeling. So what do we have here? Ooh, just some treasure. Gain 1 gold. You know what? That's a nice, easy one to take right off the top without risking anything. Let's just go ahead and do that. I'm not feeling very adventurous, so we're getting down to it. Oh no, a skirmish. Draw an enemy card. Dun, 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 dun. It's a wolf. And this says, draw an enemy card, add the dungeon level +2 to their health. So this guy is going to have 6 hit points to begin with. Oh, man. All right, so there is our 6 hit points on the wolf. Bummer, man. And he's +2. So let's see here. So he's going to do 2 damage. So I can avoid the conflict by spending 1 ration. That's not going to happen, my friend. So it misses. A 5 and a 5 is a miss for them, right? 5 minus 5 is a 0. That does not hit me. That's good news. Now, it has 6 hit points. I'm going to have to spend 1 energy and hope I roll a 5. Or a 6. That's even better. Look at that. We one-shot the wolf. Okay, I was hoping to roll the 5, so at least next time I could get a free punch in on him. But hey, I'll just take a straight-up kill, right? So the skirmish is there. This is a single loot creature, so again, a 1 is 1 random card from the top of the loot deck, or take 1 gold. Now the danger is that mimic. That mimic is no joke in here either. So let's see. Ooh, we got a new weapon, +3. Oh my goodness, so that's really good. And you know what? We don't have a shield anymore, so that's not so bad, right? That's not so bad. We have that's not so bad at all, right? +3 to attack roll versus undead. Let's go ahead and equip that for now. So we need to do a quick weight check. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're getting close, right? We're up to 9 on our weight. Okay, so skirmish is over with. And now, do we want to level up? We have 3 things killed. Let's take a look at what we might want to do with our 3. It's got to be an agility skill because this is an agility guy. So we could take archery. When using a bow, you may re-roll all die results of 1. We don't have a bow, so maybe not that so much. Conceal. You may attempt to avoid a skirmish. Look at that. Add 2 to initial damage. Ow. Fail or avoid combat. That's not so bad, right? It might be worth the risk. And then Shadow. With a dagger in your primary hand, you may deal d6 damage before taking any initial damage during phase 1 of an ambush. Oh my word. And we do have a dagger. Wow, wow, wow. But that's only good for 3 very specific cards, so that is something. Let's go ahead and take Conceal. We'll think about Shadow, but let's go ahead and take Conceal. So what we do, how we gain this skill, is we've killed 3 enemies, we flip them face down. They're still dead, Okay, they're still in our graveyard. They still count towards figuring out who the boss is, right? And right now, I think we have 2 fire guys, so it's looking like the Naga is going to wind up being our boss. However, we add Conceal to our skills, so we still have take 1 or less damage from the arrow trap, and we're going to add Conceal to our list of abilities. Okay, so there's that. And now it's for the final 2 doors. So what do we do here? We're going to flip 1 over and see what it is. Arrow trap. Look at that. So it says gain 1 poison token. Now remember, I had just said the words gain 1 less poison damage from the arrow trap. So it looks like, can just dodge out of the way of the arrow trap and be done with this floor, or we can choose to see what's behind door number 2. Do we risk it? Why not? So we have to go with the second option. Oh, crud. Drat, we found the labyrinth. You cannot seem to find your way out. Discard 2 rations, lose 3 health for each ration. Wow. So there goes the 2 rations that I found during that floor. That's terrible. And there it was. That was an entire floor. I didn't have to lose any health because I paid the 2. That was god-awful. Now, we have to move on to ending the floor. Shuffle the dungeon deck. That's what we're doing here. And place it face down to set up the next level. Feed your character by discarding 1 ration token. That's all we have left, my friends, is the single ration token we started with. Well, that's not entirely true. I guess we have the ration card that we might just want to use. So there's that. We do gain an energy for using that. In fact, I may as well just eat this ration right now. You may use this card to gain 2 energy. We may as well do that right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and eat that right at the top here. Okay, so there's that. We're not poisoned. Advance our pawn to level 2. And then draw a plot card. How exciting. The plot cards are up here. So we have the Pigman. It's just a little hard to read for me on this. You are drawn to the sounds of a whimpering animal. You are amazed to find a small small pig-like creature with a human likeness caught in a snare trap. Release the Pigman. The frightened creature looks confused when you release it. It pauses for a moment and then takes off on 2 feet. Move up 1 on the morality track. Remember, we're at 0. That's this over here. Or do we carve up the Pigman? Yikes. Your belly rumbles at the sight of the Pigman, and you get to work preparing a fire. Move down 1 on the morality track, but gain 3 energy. So, you know what? I think we're going to let the Pigman go, right? He's kind of a cool dude in my book. So we have to remember now that we have 1 of these little eyeballs. So we're going to put that down here. And remember, the end game is triggered on 10. And that's it. That's an entire floor. That's how it works, okay? So you've seen it all now. And now we're going to move on to how we whoop this game's butt and we win, right? Let's go ahead and draw 2 right off the top and see what we've got here. The Merchant. Deep in the dungeon. Seems like a strange place to set up shop. But who are you to question his sanity? You might make a purchase from you may make a purchase from the merchant. So buying, draw loot and potion cards based on the dungeon level you are on to form the shop. So this is not optional. And just so you know, if we draw a mimic, we have to stop, fight the mimic, and then we can proceed purchasing from and selling from the shop. So we are on floor 2. So it's 2 loot and a potion. So our shop looks like this. Okay, this is what we have. We are now on level 2. We have, ooh, gosh, look at, we got some good stuff. So here's that awesome shield, but it costs 4 gold and we only have 2, so we could sell some things. We do have, what is this? Ice back. You may discard this card to deal 3d6 damage. Oh, you're throwing that axe, right? Wow, weak to frost. And then here's an ice shard frost potion that we could purchase as well. Now, we also can sell. If you take a look at the bottom, the merchant will buy unwanted items for 1 gold a piece. So, yeesh. All right, so what could we buy? We can, right off the top, we can buy this ice shard potion for 1 gold. I like that, right? I like that a lot. Does that put us at our maximum? I think it might. I think it might. I would love to have a shield, but we have this 2-handed warhammer. There's a sword in here that lets us do better on fire guys, I bet. And so that's part of the game, is you trying to figure out, you know, what it is that you need to be gearing up to fight, right? We know that in our kill pool, we have fire, ice, fire. So we know that we're going to want fire damage come the boss, which is why I'm kind of hanging on to the spark bomb, because that's just +5 damage right off the top, right? I know that. This is basically a free kill on the next ice creature we see, and this does extra damage on undead for us. So unless I forget to do that at some point. No, we haven't fought one yet. Okay. So we have, oh, and this is going to go away because we haven't used it yet. So let's see here. Let's just double check our weight limits. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 again. Now, do we sell the dagger or the mace? Maybe we sell the mace. It's a trappings card to get 1 gold back. And the dagger, I'm kind of... You know what? Because we have so many good weapons at our disposal, let's go ahead and sell the dagger as well. It is a loot card for 1. And by the way, I don't believe that these refresh. You shouldn't run out of them, but you do not just shuffle them up, right? I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen. So there's room number 1 of floor 2. So then we have this, and we are looking at... Ooh, dang, that's such a good card if it's the second one, right? So gain 1 gold. You know what? We know the guy's gone, but this is a guaranteed success for us, right? It keeps us out of a combat. So we're going to flip this over. There's the stinking labyrinth. We have no rations. So let's go ahead and go for door number 2. Ah, skirmish. You're taken off guard and stumble for your weapon. So I'm going to go ahead and use my robes. You may avoid 1 skirmish per level. So we're going to avoid that really nasty skirmish. We're going to pop up. Ooh, yes. Okay, so an ambush. We got the jump on this idiot. And this idiot is draw an enemy card, ignore their initial damage, add the dungeon level to their health. So this guy has 7 hit points. Okay, so here we go. Oh, man, this game is so fun. Okay, so we have an undead warrior, and we get first strike. And we have a warhammer, right? So the warhammer says +3 to the sum of your attack roll versus undead. So we're already at a +3. And we know it has 7 damage. Let's go ahead and we're going to blow a single energy to roll a single die. You lose 1 blessing with initial damage. So we ignored his initial damage. Oh, God. Did I completely mess up on some of these? No, I don't think so. You may avoid this conflict when this... did the skinkling hit me for 1,000,000 points? No, I think I killed it, right? No, okay. I might have ignored all their special text. Okay, so we have a 3. No, a 4. I'm sorry, a 4 plus the 3 damage is 7 damage. Look at us go today. All right. Okay, so we killed this guy. It has 1 gold piece for us, and it has a single loot from a pull on the loot thing here. So let's pull from the loot pile. I've never worn the Iron Helm before. I'm pretty excited by that. Okay, so I'm totally wearing this, but it weighs 2, so we have to do some quick looking around here. So that's 2, 3, so 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we're good because we got resold those things. So, oh my God. So the Iron Helm subtract 1 from both initial damage, and they call it counter strikes. Counter strikes is just the rest of the fight, like every other strike. The initial damage is what they do first. That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, we are in it to win it now. All right, here we go. So, getting excited now. What is this? Sometimes a sanctuary is found in the least expected place. You drop at the altar and pray for... Oh, so healing discards D6 minus D6 poison tokens. And I can tell you right now, I distinctly remember the very last time I played this game, I rolled 2 5s on that roll, and I was poisoned and died by poison. So I'm not doing that again, but that's okay. We're going to take a blessing token. But unfortunately... Oh, and by the way, I think I kind of half pointed this out, but never actually told you. Right there, it tells you what blessing tokens do other than flipping them over later. You keep them face down and store them until you fight the last boss. Or, whenever you gain a blessing token, it must remain face down. Blessing tokens are used during the Divine Visit portion of the endgame. Or, you may spend 1 during combat to re-roll all of your dice without looking at which one you got rid of. So that's just something to note. It is like an emergency re-roll if I need it. So, good job on the altar there. This is a decent floor. What else do we have here? You know what? I'm all about these ambushes. I'm going to take these guys on. I kind of wish we did have the dagger now and the attack for it, but that's not our life. Okay, draw, ignore their initial damage, add the dungeon level to their health, so it's +2 to an undead archer. So we're going to add +2 health, so they have 6 health. Not afraid of that. And it says you may not defend against initial damage. Well, guess what? I'm not defending against it. So defending against initial damage would be like if I had a buckler, right? I'm not defending. I jumped you. It didn't jump me, if that makes sense, right? So it has 6 hit points. It's going to do some damage if I can't get in there first. I feel like I've been incredibly lucky here. And it's undead. What do you say about that, right? So we're at a +3 already, and it has 6. Let's go ahead and drop 1 energy. We need some rations, though. So we are at a +3. Oh, God. And we rolled a 4 again. I like these brown dice I got from the Game Crafter. So we did 7 damage total. All right. So we kill it. It has 1 gold for us. Now I need that merchant again, right? I need to buy some hit points. I need the merchant from Mini Rogue so I can buy some like armor and hit points. You may not defend. So 1 loot item right there. You can see we get a 1. So either we take a gold or we can draw from the loot pile. Now I really want. You know what? I'm going to take the gold. I think. I'm going to take the gold, and it's because I really want some certain things that I don't know what else I can use for gold, but the merchant at least allows us to cherry pick from the things we buy instead of just taking what we get for free. So that's what we're doing. So we're going to get rid of the ambush and whatever, and we have a whatever and a skirmish. Now we did use our robes already, but remember we do have the conceal option here if we need it. Conceal allows us to attempt to avoid a skirmish. So I don't know if it's worth it though. Let's see, draw an enemy card, add the dungeon level +2 to their health. So this guy's gonna have +4 hit points. Well, we lucked out. It only has 5 hit points. Okay, unfortunately it does get to strike first. So hopefully it'll roll doubles. All right, are we adding anything else to this guy? He's +0 on his damage at least, but and all we have is the Iron Helm. So he's +2 to his initial health, and that's it. Okay, I'm sorry, +4 rather. So his health is 1, right? Okay, so he rolls a. Oh dang! So he rolls a 3 minus 1 is a 2, right? But then I have subtract 1 from both initial damage and counter strike. So I have the helmet. So I'm going to take 1 damage. However, I am also going to get poisoned, right? That's what this jerk does. When the Skinkling successfully hits, gain 1 poison token. So 1 poison token is manageable. It's once you get to 2 where it becomes a problem. Okay, so here's where we're at here. Now, unfortunately, this guy does not care that I am who I say I am and that I have a giant warhammer to attack him with because I don't get that +3. But I think we're going to blow... God, yeah. I mean, here's 1. We're just going to try to roll really well. I don't have any way to get plus damage anyway. Nope. Oh, I got a 4. Okay, so we got a 4, so we're going to bring him down to 1 damage, and now he gets to roll again against me. He has 1 hit point, so dang, he's going to hit me again. I need a miss. I need a big miss. Oh, he missed. He rolled 1 and 1. So you don't get poisoned if they miss, by the way. They have to hit you. They have to do damage to have their bad thing happen. Now, my attack, since it only has 1 hit point, I'm glad this came up so we can all see how it works. I don't have to expend an energy. I can just, bam, punch him or hit him with the pommel of my weapon or something. It doesn't cost energy for me to do a single damage. So there we go. It's a guaranteed hit of 1 damage. So it has a single gold piece, and we get a 1. So do I take another gold? I feel like we're actually getting kind of low on the gold already. Let's see here. Let's see what we get. God, I'm so afraid of the mimic. Okay, so we got a long sword. So the long sword is 2. I think we can carry that, yeah? 5, 6, 7, 8. So this maxes us out, but we're going to carry it. This says, die results of a 6, deal an extra point of damage. How interesting. Okay, so... That's very useful. I mean, doing 7 damage is better than not, but, again, being able to wreck undead is kind of nice. So I think for now we're going to stick with what we have. Okay. Then, the last 2 on this floor. What do we got here? Son of a... Gain a poison token. So last time we avoided this one, and we're going to be in a bad spot here because I don't have a ration. So if we flip this and it's something horrendous like the Labyrinth, we're screwed. So here we can just ignore the 1 damage of the poison and move on. And just for the curious... this would have been the thing to do because it would have let us find a ration. What a bummer. Okay, so we're going to shuffle these up. We're going to lose 3 hit points because we don't have a ration. 1, 2, and 3. We're getting low on hit points already. We're going to die in here. We're going to move up to level 3 in the dungeon. And then we're going to draw a plot card. So our plot card is... The wolf, your eyes meet. Oh no, do we need food or something for this? Because didn't the wolf that we saw before want food? Oh no. Alright, what does this say here? Your eyes meet those of a frail-looking wolf crouched in the cover of shadows. It looks like the wolf is starving as it cannot even muster the strength to growl. feed the wolf. You take one of your rations and give it to the wolf. The frightened creature snaps at you, drawing blood, but quickly turns to eating your offerings. Lose 1 ration and 2 health. Move up 1 on the morality track. Wolves ignore you from now on. Or do you ignore the wolf? You turn away and leave the wolf behind to fend for itself. Move down 1 on the morality track. So we're back to 0 because I don't have a ration. I would totally feed you. But notice how this has 2 little eyeballs on it. So now we have 3 little eyeballs. Now before we draw our card, we can choose an upgrade again. Now, in our upgrades for agility, the only option that we have left is Strike from the Shadows here, which is not wonderful when we don't have a dagger. We got rid of the dagger, so it's kind of out of the game. So that is kind of worthless now. So if we were to take anything else, it would cost us 5. Oh, look at that, dual wield. It would cost us 5, and we don't have 5 dead enemies yet, so we're going to go ahead and just put that on the back burner and jump into the new level. So just make sure we didn't forget anything. We shuffled the dungeon. We couldn't feed, so we took 3 damage. We only have 1 poison, so that didn't go up. We moved up to level 3, and we drew the plot card. So now it's down to these 2 cards again. We are going to find this stinking labyrinth again. I don't have a ration, so let's just gamble on what's on number 2. A clearing. Draw a plot card. Ooh, so we found something. The Old Woman. Okay, the Old Woman here says, you hear a moaning sound from the shadows and discover a lost old woman. She is frail and mutters on about losing something in the darkness. Do you help her escape the dungeon? You spend a good deal of time working your way back out of the dungeon with the woman. Soon as you are at the entrance and she turns to you and blesses you before leaving. Lose 1 ration and 1 energy, but gain 1 blessing token and move up 1 on the morality track. Again, we don't have a ration, so we cannot even choose that option. Leave her and search instead. You ignore the old hag and instead look for what she may have lost. Move down 1 on the morality track, so we're at -1. Gain 1 random treasure card. That means loot is what that really means. Okay, so of all the things, that blind old bat lost in the dungeon without a torch, couldn't see it, there was a ration at her feet, and I stole it for myself. Yeah. All right, so there we are. Okay, so what do we got next here? All right, I guess we got to turn tail because we don't have the keepsake in this game. An arrow trap. You know what? I dodge it. Whatever, man. I am on it. I'm gonna dodge that stinking arrow trap for my 1 poison here. Blessing. Gain a blessing token. I think that's exactly what we're going to do. Followed by our next choice, skirmish. Oh, I didn't take this off. Okay, so we haven't done a skirmish this floor, but enemies are getting tougher now. Yikes, right? Draw an enemy and add the dungeon level +2 to their health. So now it's +5 health, whatever we find. Let's go ahead and just draw the second card. Dang. It's the other skirmish. So it's even worse. So we are absolutely going to use our robes to get out of this one. All right, 2 more cards. We have the Mushroom Grove. Heck yeah, I'm taking a ration because I do not like starving. I can't believe we lost 2 rations right off the bat. Number 1 card is a skirmish. You know what? I say we draw the second card and see what it is. Ooh, treasure. Draw 1 loot and 1 potion. This chest must have been stocked with goods recently. All right. Okay, so 1 loot and 1 potion. I need a healing potion. 1 loot and 1 potion. Oh my god. 2 potions. Okay, so we have to take a quick note of something. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, okay, so the way this works, I actually specifically found this in the FAQ. So, rules as written, you cannot pick these up because we're at max encumbrance of 10, right? I just had this moment of panic where I thought, oh, did I take the character who has a 9 and I've been counting to 10 this whole time? No, we are at 10 encumbrance for Fayon here. Okay, so what we have, somewhere in one of the FAQs or whatever, it said if it's a consumable, you can choose to just consume them right there, or consume and then put into whatever, right? So there's an exception for consumables here. So first off the top, we're going to consume our ration, which is a loot that says you may discard this to gain 2 energy. So I'm going to gain 2 energy, as well as you may discard this card to gain 4 health, right? So we're going to gain back 4 health because we are hurting as it is. And then we have an antidote. You may discard this card to remove 3 poison. I think we're just going to hang on to it because right now I think we're good, right? We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Nope, I can't carry it. So I'm going to discard that and get rid of my 1 poison. I thought for some reason that I guess I'm dumb and can't count. Okay, for some reason I thought it was different. We also have 5 eyeballs now, so we got to watch when the end of the game is coming because that clearing sped it up for us a little bit. So we're going to draw from these 2. We're going to draw this, and this is ambush. I'm all about going first. Okay, come on, this is good stuff here. All right, so what do we do here? So draw an enemy card and ignore their initial damage. Add the dungeon level to their health. So 3 plus 2. This guy has 5 hit points. I feel like Jason Glover wearing that hat he wears. Those hats have a name and I don't know what they are. And I can see his smile. I follow him on Twitter, so I see his face all the time. I feel like he's smiling down on this game. He has overseen and improved this game. So we've got a zombie. We get first strike. Oh, it says they don't do initial damage anyway, so that was okay. But that's okay. We kept their hit points low. Zombies are plus 0 damage, right? I haven't drawn any of the gnarly enemies except for one was kind of bad. But we have the Warhammer, right? So how do we do this? It is an undead. Are we going to... We get first strike. Do we? What did I say its hit points are? 5? We have to use at least 1. So let's just use 1. 1 energy. We're at plus 3. All I've got to roll is a 2. Roll is a 2. Look at that. You know what? Those of you that have played any sort of RPG ever, whether that be tabletop or video game, are you familiar with like sentient items like weapons and whatnot? I'm starting to wonder if this particular die hears me say what I need. So anyway, plus 3 to sum up your attack roll versus undead enemies, right? I mean, this was the best thing to take for us, it looks like. So we kill the zombie in 1 hit, ba-bam. All right, they move nice and slow. Their treasure is going to be a loot or a single gold piece. Let's risk the loot. Oh, we got armor now, though. Subtract 2 from initial strikes and counter strikes. Cannot use conceal or shadow skill. So, we, of course, purchase conceal, but we haven't used it yet. And I kind of feel like just straight up not taking damage is better. But you see we have a new problem here, right? Because it weighs 3. So I also have this weird problem of having like a load of stuff piled up on my dude. So let me sort this out here. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 dead guys. 3 that we've spent. So we're going to do that. And then we have 5 of these eyeballs that tell us how far. So we're catching the gaze of the boss, right? We're working on it. Now, I want this. So how do we make that happen? Let's see here. When the heck does armor go? Oh, in place of my robes, of course. Dang, you know what, though? Dodging that skirmish is so good, right? But if we dump that, so we have 3, 4, 5, then that becomes 8. Uh-oh. We'd have to get rid of the longsword. We'd have to get rid of the longsword and our robe. And then we just can't carry anything else. But I think it's kind of worth it. I do. So we're going to dump the longsword on the ground. We're gonna disrobe, quite literally, and take the armor, the scale armor, right? So this is, I just want to double check the math. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's we are maxed out, okay? So I actually would kind of like to see the boss, you know, now. That's not going to happen, though. So what that was it? That was all we got? We're done? We killed, we murdered, we came, we saw, we kicked it. All right, so we've got these last 2 here, and what do we have? Another ambush. I mean, that's fantastic. That's fabulous, right? That is absolutely fantastic. So I don't know if anybody caught this or not. I read it off kind of quickly. One of the items I love in this game is this thing, the door wedge. Look at that. Discard that to avoid an ambush or a skirmish. You do not, just so that everybody knows, you do not get to draw to find out what you're fighting. You just draw like this far, and you say, okay, it's an ambush. I don't want to do it. I jam the door. And I bypass it, right? That's how that item works. It's fantastic. So we're going to ambush somebody, draw an enemy card, and ignore their initial damage. Add the dungeon level. That's 3 to their health. So we're adding 3. Uh-oh, that's 11. So this is bad. So the only good news that we have going for us here is that I have a spark bomb, right? We can also avoid the conflict. The spark bomb does 2d6 plus 5. You know what? Right? And I get to go first. And this doesn't cost any energy. So I'm going to throw my spark bomb, which is 2d6 plus 5 against this 11. So we got to do at least 6 damage with these rolls here, right? And we did 7 plus 5 is 12 damage. We managed to kill it. Hot dog. Okay, so I knew keeping these potions would pay off, right? So this guy is full of loot. He's going to give us 1 gold. He is going to give us a loot and a potion. Is that correct? A 2 says both loot and the potion deck. Now remember, we can't carry very much. And that's our 5th dead guy. So let's flip this over. Baller. Okay, so that's a bummer. We're not gonna be able to keep this unless we get rid of an ice shard potion. But okay, so real quick, we're gonna drink this because we can. So it's +4 health, right? Or at least to our max. Let me just see here how many we have now. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, we happen to be at exactly maximum health now. Oh man, we're in good shape. Iron Helm runs never go this well. I'm so happy that this is being recorded. Okay, so the Explorer's Map is a fantastic item right there. Lose 1 less ration when lost in the labyrinth, and you do not discard that when you encounter the labyrinth. You keep it, okay? The question is, what do we get rid of? What do we dump? Do we dump the... This is a tough call. I mean, it really is a tough call because we're not sitting pretty with rations, right? But I don't want to give up that ice potion. Oh, I have 1 more spot because I used the potion. I'm an idiot. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Never mind. I'm done. We don't have to make that choice just yet. Okay, that's right because we just used the firebomb potion, which was -1 encumbrance. Okay, so that was it for this floor. Man. Okay, so we're on to 4. We have to shuffle this up. We have to spend our 1 ration that thankfully we have now, and then draw a plot card. So what do we have here? The Prisoner. You find yourself in the threshold of a small prison room. An orc guard is fast asleep at a table where a couple of gold coins rest. The sole prisoner spots you and silently points to the keys on the table. Do we choose to free the prisoner? You slowly make your way towards the table, but as you near it, the orc wakes up, a battle ensues, and you are the victor. You free the prisoner, and he runs off without even offering a thank you. Lose 1 energy and 3 health. Move up 1 on the morality track, gain 2 gold and 1 treasure card, or take the money and run. You dash through the room, picking up the coins as you pass the table. The orc wakes up confused, but you're gone. Move down 1 on the morality track, but gain 2 gold. Okay, so... God, I don't want to lose the health. Our morality's so bad anyway. You know what? I'm going to move 1 down on the morality track and gain the 2 gold. I'm sorry, bro. And gain 2 gold. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm not sorry. I don't even want to be in here. I just want to get out of here and retire. It's my time, okay? So this was 3 eyeballs. So that's 8. So we are getting very close to a boss. And what we can do, and I don't believe there's any kind of rule against... Ooh, we have 5. We need to go shopping for a new skill. Let's see what we can take that would benefit us in any way here. So, shield block. We don't have a shield because we're using a 2-hander. You may spend 2 health to add an additional die to your attack roll. Add 5 damage if you throw your axe. That's a warhammer, not an axe, right? Dual wield. We're using a 2-handed, pretty awesome weapon against an undead. Parry. You may attempt to block all initial damage with your primary weapon. Oh my god, if you roll a 1, your primary weapon breaks. You know, and just my luck, that would happen. Appraise. When selling goods at the merchant, you gain 2 gold instead of 1. When buying from the merchant, you pay half price, rounded up. That's a contender. Alchemy. Gain 2 potions of your choice. We don't have the space. Divinity. Whenever you gain energy, you may convert it into health. You gain 2 blessing when you choose to pray at the altar. That's a contender. Herb. Oh, you know what? We gain an energy from the ration that we ate on our way down. I completely forgot to take that. +1 energy when you cook at a campsite. Drinking an antidote will cure all poison. That's a contender as well. Archery and shadow, which we can't use now. In fact, you know what? We can't even use conceal unless we get rid of our armor. So I don't really like any of those. Our contenders are these 3. So let's see here. What do you guys think? I'm gonna crowdsource this, right? Let's you at home screaming in your head at me. This is recorded, you Nimrod. So +1 energy when you cook at a campsite. Now, how much energy do we have currently? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. So we have 8 energy. And off the top of my head, I don't remember if you're limited to 11. I think we are. I think you're limited to what it says. I think poison is the only thing that is unlimited, right? So we're limited to 11 energy. I think poison is where you are stuck. God, we have so much money. We could buy anything we want from the merchant. There's nothing that's out of our price range. So appraise is less valuable to us. Whenever you gain energy, you may convert it to health. You gain 2 blessings when you choose to pray. You know what? I think we're taking divinity. So we're going to spend all 5 of these, which is a mind ability, right? So that's what we're going to take. So it costs us 5 cards to do the upgrade. So you put them face down. Now, just for the sake of it, I'm gonna take a quick look at what we are not as well off as I thought here with the undead. Look at that. So it's 4 fire guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I want to fight the undead guy because I have the warhammer of smoke some undead fools, right? So I want that. So we need to fight some more undead. We have to do well. We have to remember that. So we're going to take divinity, which is whenever you gain energy, you may convert it into health. You gain 2 blessings when you choose to pray at the altar. Okay, so we're here. We're ready. We got 2 cards. Can't go wrong when you go right. That's why I keep drawing this card, right? Oh, how funny. Look at that. The Labyrinth. So here's the deal. We have the Explorer's map. Lose 1 less ration when lost in the thing. So this card says discard 1 ration. If you have none, lose 3 health. So we have the map. We're not lost. I'm getting the heck out of here. See you later, alligator. All right, so we have an ambush. Let's fight because now we need to hope and pray that we're going to be fighting some undead. So now we are on level 4. Your foe catches you, but no, we're in the top. You draw an enemy card, ignore initial damage, add dungeon level to their health. So we're adding 4 to a flying snake. So they have 7 hit points. 7 hit points. You gain 1 poison with initial damage, but we ignore their initial damage because we are an ambushing fool. Now this guy is a frost guy. We don't get any bonuses, but I don't want to blow through energy. This guy is a frost guy. You know what? We have the potion. I mean, oh god, it's such a waste though. It's such a waste on such a wuss little guy. Let's do it though. Let's chuck the potion at him. Roll 2d6 plus 5. So all we have to do is roll 2 ones. I mean, no matter what, we win. Okay, so we killed this guy. We gained nothing. He has no loot. It was kind of a waste, but I feel like okay, so we have 8 eyeballs. If we draw a plot card that has 2 eyeballs, it's over, and we're fighting a fire gun. I don't want that to happen. That guy had no loot whatsoever, but I need to get more, and that was an ice guy, right? We need to get more undead, so we're looking for fights for undead. Treasure, gain 1 gold. Well, it beats getting jumped. So we're going to gain, I guess, the last gold. I guess that's all the gold. I don't know if these are supposed to be component limited or not. I would have to look that up. Is that mentioned in the FAQ? I seriously doubt it because it's all a bunch of, like, it might be in here somewhere. It might be in the community handbook. Do they talk about stuff? It doesn't say. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, I don't know if these are supposed to be limited or not. Yeah, it doesn't talk about. Oh, yeah, it does say max energy, by the way. 11. So, yeah, we can't go over that. Dang. I'm sure that it's mentioned somewhere, and I just don't know off the top of my head. You can carry an unlimited amount of gold, it says, but that doesn't mean that it's not component limited, if you catch what I'm saying, right? It's probably a non-issue, right? Like, there's nothing we can't buy. Okay, so next 2. All right. That's assuming we even find the dude. Skirmish. Oh, no. Okay, so here we go. Draw an enemy card and add the dungeon level plus 2. So we're adding 6 to their health. Oh, crud. So this guy has 11 health. We didn't get the jump on him either. And I may avoid that conflict by spending plus 2 gold. It's a fire guy, and we don't want fire guys. So guess what? I'm going to spend the 2 gold. There it is. Sorry, pal, I want nothing to do with you. So they get discarded. That does not count as a win, right? But I don't want them in my pile. Remember, we're looking for undead, right? We're trying to play this smartly, probably for the first time I've ever done it my whole life. Oh no. So, okay. You understand why I'm panicking? Because if we draw a plot card and it's got 2 eyeballs on it, that's the end of the game, and we're fighting a fire guy. And for the best chances of success, we want an undead guy, right? So there's a tiebreaker as well. Let me just double check and see if I can find that. Where is that? Determine your foe. Take note of the weakness icon, which, okay, so, remember that fire beats undead. So we really want to get some more undead guys in here. So we should probably pass on the clearing and take whatever the second part of this is. Ooh, well, that's what we found. Search to gain a single ration is, I think, what we're going to do, because there, we always need rations. Okay, so that's okay. I think that worked out for us to avoid that. The altar. Ooh, gain 1 blessing token. And this says you may convert it. Let's see here. You gain 2 blessing tokens when you pray at the altar. We're praying, baby. Right there. So we got 2. So we have 4 of those now. That's gone and that is gone. So we're going to take these 2. A skirmish. And we can't avoid skirmishes anymore because we do not have our robes. They served us well. Or we take this second card. So whatever it is, we're fighting somebody with 2 additional, so 6 additional health. Yikes. Let's see here. Wow, this is a tough choice. That's a lot of hit points. Let's just do the battle. Let's just fight it. So what does it say here? Draw an enemy card and add the dungeon level +2. So we're going to add 4, 5, 6. Gives this guy 9 total hit points. So let's go ahead and set you to 9. And what is this now? This guy is a frost guy. What a waste of a thing. Okay, and it's going to do initial damage. You gain 1 poison with initial damage. So it's going to roll to hit me. And it rolled a... I need another 5 up there if I can get one. Well, that's not... Oh, that's fine too, right? Because gain 1 poison with initial damage. So it's going to hit me for 5 minus 4, which is 1, plus 1, because that's the blue, right? So it's going to hit me for 2. But I happen to have subtract 2 from initial damage and counter strikes and subtract 1 from it. So I took 0 damage, so it did no damage to me. So I'm at -3 damage every roll, by the way. So now I get to attack back, and it has 9 hit points. So it's a frost enemy. I'm going to want to burn 2 energy to roll 2 dice, I think. It has 9 hit points, so we're going to do... Oh boy, I better get... So there's a 7 for us, right? So we take it down to 2 hit points. Dang. Okay, so not bad, though. Now, it gets to attack me again. So it is at... it's really at a -2, depending on what these are as well, right? So there's a... Oh, it missed completely. So how about I just punch it for 1, right? Let's just punch it in the face for 1. And that... Because we need to conserve energy, and then it's going to attack me again. And it's going to attack for 1, plus 1 is 2, minus 3, so it again does no damage, and I punch it in the face for 1. It has no loot whatsoever. Now we're getting... we have 2 frost guys. 1, 2, 3... 3 frost guys. Oh, boy. And 4 fire guys. Oh, no. So, oh, wait. We have one of these guys face up. Perhaps we had 2. Okay, so... that's it. That's all. Okay, so we won. The guy had absolutely nothing on him. The last thing here is, ooh, a merchant. So let's see. Do we do what the merchant says, or we try to fight while there's still a little bit weaker creatures out there? 3 loot and 2 potions we could buy. 3 loot and 2 potions, huh? Now, I'm not feeling this very thin loot deck anymore, right? So let's bypass the merchant and take the bottom half of whatever this is. It is a skirmish. Dang. We're taken off guard and stumble for your weapon. Draw an enemy card and add the dungeon level +4. So they get +6. So it has 10 hit points. Dang it. And then this says you may not defend against initial damage. So this stuff is defense. It's not going to help me any. So it is going to do 2. You know what, though? It's oh my god, it misses. It misses initial damage. I've been so unbelievably lucky on these rolls. Draw an enemy card and add the dungeon level +4 to their health. So it's 6 plus 4, so it has 10 hit points. Okay. Yep, I just want to make sure I'm doing that right. So +10 to their hit points. All right. So just a real quick here. Initial damage. Add this number. Yep. Okay. Initial damage is important. Subtract the result. Some dungeon currency to further add damage. So we haven't had anything over extra damage. We've been really lucky. I'm actually just curious if it's the ambush cards. Oh, it does. The bottom of the ambush cards add the dungeon level to their initial damage too, and we've managed to avoid that. So, wow. Okay, but these don't. This is just to their health. Okay, so anyway, it missed. I get to attack back. It has 10 hit points, but I say we're getting so unbelievably low on stuff here. But let's blow through 2 energy to roll 2d6 plus 3 because it's undead and we have a warhammer. Yeah, plus 3. So we've got a 10. Oh, we did it anyway. Dang. So there it is. Wrecked. So it has 1 gold for us and 1 on the loot table. I'm going to take a gold. I don't think I want to draw. I don't know what the mimic is. Like, I don't know what it qualifies as. Like, is it weak to fire, ice, undead? I don't think it's undead, so I don't know. In any case, we're done. So now we move to floor 5. We have to spend a ration to gain one of those and to go down, but we also have to draw a plot card. Now, I tried to avoid it. That was an undead guy there at the very end, but I feel like maybe we didn't pull this off. We might be fighting a fire guy, unfortunately, at this point. I just don't know. I just don't know. If I get to choose, I am absolutely picking the guys that we stand the best chance against. I'll tell you right now. I'm going to do it. So let's see. It is 1 eyeball. The corpse. So we're still in it. We are still in it. Interesting. Now we could draw the clearing again and end it in the middle of this, right? The corpse. Okay. You trip over the corpse of a fellow adventurer. As you stagger to your feet, you realize the body belongs to a friend from years past. Do you bury the corpse? You decide the best way to pay tribute to your friend is a proper burial. Lose 1 energy, move up 1 on the morality track. Or take the money and run. You search the corpse and for anything that may aid you, and you leave the corpse behind and move down 1 on the morality track, draw 1 treasure. You know what? Let's burn the energy, like and move up to just a -1. There we go, right? Okay, so we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these now. Oh my goodness. Okay, here goes nothing. Gain 1 ration. You know what? I'm all over it because you never know when we're going to need a ration, right? Okay. We have these 2. We have skirmish. Let's draw the second card and just see. Damn. Okay. I was hoping it wasn't that. So draw an enemy card and add 5 to add 9 to their health. So they are 9. Oh my god. They are 16 hit points now. Okay, so what can we do about this? Initial damage and counter strikes both steal 1 blessing. Are you out your mind? Oh, I might have really messed up because we only have 4 blessings and I was counting on those to win. Oh my god. So we have no way around this. We have no way around this because we got rid of our robes. We could have avoided this nightmare. And it gets first strike. So let's see them doubles, baby. So it's going to get a 3 plus 3 is 6 minus 3. So I'm going to take 3 damage, and it stole a blessing from me. So I'm just going to remove this one that fell off the pile. I can't believe that. Oh my god. So it has what, 16? So I got to pull out all the stops, man. We got to do 16 damage. So we've got to roll. I'm going to throw 3 in. There's 3. I have to. This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. So we're at plus 3. So oh my god, we only did 9, 10 damage to it. So we went from 16 to 6 hit points. Oh my god. And it attacks me back. Oh no. Okay, so we're still going to lose a thing, but that's 6 minus 5 is 1, plus 3 is 4. I defend 3 of those, so it's going to hit me for 1, but that still sucks because it still steals. So I'm going to show you the 2 I lost that are now out of the game. That was 3 hit points at the end of the game that I would have gotten, okay? But those were stolen and taken out of the game now. And so now we have to do 6 hit points. I'm going to use my last thing, and I need to roll at least a 3 to kill it. There we go. There's a 4. Okay, so we killed it. Oh, wow, that guy sucked. It's 2 loot, so I guess that's a potion and a loot. Phew, no mimic. Okay, so we can discard. Okay, so this is what? 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can only choose one of these. Now we're not poisoned, so that's not a problem. Gain an additional ration whenever you enter the mushroom grove. So we're going to take the book, the field guide. Oh, that sucked. That was awful. We really need to avoid some fights. Ooh, the treasure is gain a gold. I don't know if I can. So the problem is I only have 1. Oh, no. Okay, so you see the problem here. So we're going to gain the 1 gold, which we can't because there are no more to take. So I don't know how that works. I don't have any more energy. We blew it all in that fight, and that's how we're going to lose this game, because now we can't use our Warhammer. Period. End of story. I don't know how that works. I mean, I assume we just take another gold, but we don't have one. I don't think it's meant to be component limited. So I might have just cheated there, but that's what we're doing. But literally, if we're going to fight something, we can't. So what I have to do is I have to eat this ration to gain 1 energy, because that's all we can do. And we're going to flip this, and it's an ambush. I mean, see, here's where we're screwed, because we ran out of energy. So ignore their initial damage. So we are fighting an undead zombie who ignores their initial damage anyway, and add the dungeon level to their health. So this guy has 7 hit points. So I guess it was a good thing that it was a zombie. So yeah, dang, that Wraith messed us up. Okay, but better our ambush than theirs, right? So we get to attack first. I have to use my 1 energy to roll the die and get a +3 on it. So if it's a 4, we kill it. So we don't kill it. We're going to do 6 damage. So taking him down to 1 damage, now it gets to attack back. It is going to attack me for a big 3 minus 1 is 2, plus 0 minus 3 is 0 damage. And then we get to punch it for free and kill it. It had no loot, but it does have a this. There's a mimic in here somewhere. Okay, and this says what? Lamp. Once per dungeon level, you may reveal both dungeon cards and choose one. You know what? That's probably better than the field guide at this point, so we're going to dump the field guide, and we're going to do this. Once per dungeon level. Okay. Because we need to pull this off, right? We need to not get screwed here. So once per dungeon level, you may reveal both dungeon cards and choose one. And that can be done like right now or after. That is mentioned somewhere in the FAQ. So I can see the one for free and not have to do it. Oh, it's a campsite. So the campsite says spend 1, I'm pretty sure I saw that in the facts specifically mentioned, spend 1 ration to gain 3 energy. Now I would love to tell you I can do that, but instead we've just got to take the ration and then so now we have it, we're done with this, then we have to eat the ration to gain the 1 energy because we have no stinking energy. Then we're going to go here and flip this. It's a skirmish. We still have 4 cards, so we still have to get through whatever those are before we are forced to the end game. So I say we draw it. Let's just see what it is. Oh, even worse, it's an ambush. Here's where we die, because there's no runaway. We don't have anything that we can do here. So this is our foe catches us off guard, draw an enemy card, add the dungeon level to their initial damage. So this guy, and add the dungeon level +4 to their, so +9 hit points. So this thing has 12 hit points, and it has 5, 6, 7. So it's at a +7 on its roll. So it rolled 8 minus 3, so it did 5 damage to me. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because of our armor. Oh, we were doing so well, and it all fell apart. I should have just ended it at the clearing. You know, we would have been better off fighting the fire guy than all this mess. And this is a fire guy, too. I don't have the 1 ration to avoid it. Okay, so here's our problem. It has 12 hit points. I mean, we have to use our 1 this. We have nothing. We just have to deal with it now, right? I mean, we just have to eat it. It's going to be 1 point. So I need as much damage as possible. So, right. So this thing goes down to 6 hit points. But then I'm only going to be able to do 1 damage per round now. There is literally no other option that I have here. That is it. And so basically, it is going to roll. I may as well put this in front of me. It'll be easier to handle. I have to roll +2. So whatever this is, -1 essentially, right? So it's a 3 minus 1 is 2 damage, right? Because it's 3, 4, 5. -3 is 2 damage, right? I'm going to die right here to a stinking wolf. And you know what? Earlier on, we could have saved it if we saved the wolf, right? So I punch it. It goes down to 5. It attacks back. 2, 3, 4, -3, it does 1. I'm down to 2 hit points. I punch it, it's down to 4. I can't believe it, we did so well for so long. And then it does 3, 4, 5. -3 is 2 damage, and we just died at the hands of a wolf. And you know, another fun thing is had I not used that ration right there to get the energy, we could have avoided this fight altogether. It would have been in the discard pile, and then we would have been faced with, you know, these two, which would have been an altar, which would have got us 2 blessing tokens, right? Then we would have been faced with a clearing, draw a plot card, which would have been the ideal thing to do to end it, because we didn't want to use a ration like at the very end. So this says the shrine. In the clearing, you find a towering shrine covered in vegetation. You are overwhelmed by a sense of power as a gentle breeze rushes past you. Gain blessing tokens equal to your position on the morality track. So we're at -1. You don't lose them. You just wouldn't have gained any. But that's 3 eyeballs. So then we would have been up on the boss, and the boss would have been, that would have been avoided, remember, had we kept the ration to give it to them. Now, we wouldn't have gone into the fight with any energy, but hold on now, it's not, I'm just curious how this could have gone down, because we were very close to a decent run there, right? We did all the things right up until the very end, right? There's only 4 of those, and look how many undead there are now, right? We have 6 undead, okay? So we would have been fighting the undead boss. Okay, now the reason why, here, I want to just show you how this all works, right? So the mimic was next. How funny. I knew it was in, oh, and our fire sword was in the very bottom. There's a bow, a cookbook, and a magic ring. I was avoiding this guy who we know now is a fire guy. How funny. I knew he was in there somewhere. I mean, obviously, right? So then we would have had to fight the fire guy. So the fire guy is the, the undead guy, the lich. Now, then, before you go into the fight with the boss, you have to flip these over. So we would have had 4, just based on had that happen. So we would have gained 2, oh, you can't see that at all. We would have had 2 more hit points. We would have had, this is clear poison, and then we would have had 1, 2 energy. So we would have had 2 energy going into the boss fight. And what does the boss say here? What does the lich say? The lich says, when the lich hits with his initial attack or counter strikes, oh my god, he steals 2 energy. So maybe that wouldn't have been great, because he would have taken our 2 energy on his first hit, and he has what, 20 hit points, and he's 20 hit points plus 4. Wow. So just for fun, yeah, he would have been 2, 6 minus 3. He would have hit us for 3 damage and stolen both of our energy. So yeah, we would have been toast anyway, because again, we didn't have enough energy, right? Like we just used a little bit too much. And here I thought we did really well. I don't know, it fell apart at the end, but that's how Iron Helm plays. And if you get excited by that kind of like draw 2, choose 1 stuff, this is your game, right? Like, Tin Helm is amazing. I love it, and it's great, and it's wonderful. But this is the big brother. This is the one that has so many cards for it that you can get, right? Tin Helm is wonderful. Tin Helm is, you know, it fits in a nice small little box. That's awesome and everything. But this is the one that gives you all sorts of things and places you can go and much more story, and everything's so beautiful and so many things. And I'm an addict for gear. I love having a bunch of potions at my disposal and a bunch of gear I can get and all of that cool stuff. Take a look at this. I want to show you, just look at the trappings cards once you go through and add all the characters, right? Look at all these cards that you could add and see all these different symbols up at the top are from all the different expansion packs. There's so much to the Iron Helm series here, to the Iron Helm game, that it's hard to say, oh, just go buy the base game and those 2 little expansions, because there's so much out there. Look at, where is it? Oh, here. Characters. Look at all these characters you can play. I actually have all but 1. I'm missing 1. Yeah, I don't have them in here. That's a bummer. There is a promo character that came with Stonefire that I don't have. You can get the graphic. I think Jason put it out there somewhere, because I have it. I have a super high quality graphic of, his name is Irk something, I think. It's probably on GreyGnomeGames.com website, probably. It must be where I got it, or he put it on the forum one day. Who knows, but maybe it'll be in that promo pack he's been talking about on Twitter. Go check out Jason Glover. It's at GreyGnomeGames, I'm pretty sure. The website is GreyGnomeGames.com, also, I'm pretty sure. And anyway, look at all these cool characters, man. It's wild. You can be all kinds of neat people with all these different things. Life Drain. Look at that. Raven Staff and a torch. Pilgrim Staff and a flask. A battle axe, right? Oh, I love this kind of stuff. And you know what? His art sells it for me. Just absolutely gorgeous. Fantastic. That was Iron Helm. Thanks for watching. I'm hoping that we're going to get some more plays in, and I would love to win so I could actually score on a little chart and see how we did here. But unfortunately, we died today, so Lord Fayon didn't make it. He died, but it was a valiant attempt by our agility hero. So thanks for watching, everybody. That was Iron Helm, just the base game with none of the fancy stuff. I do believe here forward I will just add the loot and lore and the fanny pack stuff to it, right? I will add all of that stuff. So I hope you enjoyed watching. This is a fantastic game, and remember, the print and play is only like $5, and if you get it from the Game Crafter, it's a little bit more than that, about 11 times as expensive, I think, but well worth it for some very high quality components and everything. But a sale is coming up. Do not forget. Let me show that one last time if I still have it open, just so you can see. Of course, all this stuff had to like reload because it's been a minute. There it goes. There's the sales that are coming up here at the end of the year. Otherwise, if you're like me and you're a little impatient, $55 from the Game Crafter or $5 for the print yourself print and play version here. Iron Helm over at pnparcade.com. So thanks everybody for watching. That was Iron Helm by Jason Glover. That is Great Gnome Games. And remember, games are made for everyone's recreation. I'll see you next time.